Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit with another episode of Eating on a Budget. And today, we're going to show you exactly what happens at the Wolf Pit when you're bored, hungry, and you got to make dinner with what you have in the house. And here's everything we had on hand that'll feed your family or a bunch of people a hearty meal for under $7. And notice, I said a hearty meal, not a healthy meal. Well, I actually don't think it's going to be that bad for you. But just like everything in life, moderation is key. We have a family-sized bag of Idahoan buttery homestyle mashed potatoes, which of course, if you have fresh potatoes, that's even better. Then we have an 8-ounce bag of shredded Mexican taco cheese, 1 large chopped up yellow onion, 1 large chopped up bell pepper, and finally, the ageless classic that keeps on giving, the original 4-meat slurry concocted roll, bologna. Or is it Bologna? Bologna or bologna, I know they're pronounced the same, I'm just saying Bologna because it sounds funny, but when it comes to Gwaltney, you know you're dealing with a really good superior meat. When they call it Great Bologna, B-O-L-O-N-Y, and then right underneath that, they call it the original chicken Bologna. Is it bologna or Bologna? And I know all you bologna fanatics out there are raging that we're using chicken bologna. And there's a few reasons why we're using it today. Number 1, this is the bologna that Mrs. Wolfpit buys and the bologna she likes. So if you're married, you'll understand. And number 2, this is all we had on hand. And number 3, Mrs. Wolfpit has actually turned me onto this chicken bologna. It's actually quite tasty and not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. And this 1-pound pack of chicken bologna costs under $2, and a 1-pound pack of beef bologna is $5 or more. And we're eating on a budget, and the Gwaltney Great Bologna Original Chicken Bologna fit the bill. So let's start putting this meal together. In a large skillet over medium-high heat, add a little dab of butter. If you don't have butter, use leftover bacon grease, or a little bit of cooking oil, or a little bit of cooking spray. Just use whatever you have. And then add your slices of bologna, or bologna. Once all your bologna's been added, let it sit there and fry for 2 to 3 minutes. Don't fiddle with it, don't bop it, just leave it alone. Once you start fiddling and bopping your bologna, things go downhill and it doesn't brown right. Especially if you're using good bologna that has a first name. That's the last thing you want to tell your buddies. Hey guys, I was bopping my Oscar this morning. After 2 to 3 minutes, give your bologna a flip. And then let them cook for another 1 to 2 minutes. Once your first batch of bologna is done, remove it and add another batch and continue that process until the whole 1 pound of bologna is browned. Now cube up your bologna in little bite-sized pieces. And you can also cut up your bologna before you fry it and fry it a little bit longer if you want it crispier. Once all the bologna is browned and cut up, wipe out the skillet and add about a tablespoon of butter. Once all the butter's melted over medium-high heat, add your diced up bell peppers, and your diced up yellow onion. Now at this point, feel free to add any garlic or other vegetables or herbs you like. Now let the peppers and onions saute for 3 to 5 minutes or until they're to your desired tenderness. We don't like ours mushy, but we don't want them crunchy either, so we cook them right to the midway point. Now after preparing the instant potatoes according to the directions on the bag, which is quite difficult, I mean besides the step of adding boiling water, you have to mix them up too. I thought these were instant mashed potatoes. Instant to me should mean you open up the bag and you have mashed potatoes. Talk about working for your food. And once you've added your mashed potatoes to a large mixing bowl, add your sauteed peppers and onions, and then give them a good mix. And then add about 3/4 of your fried chopped bologna. Then give that another good mix. Now at this point, I thought I came up with a great idea, but Mrs. Wolfpit said no. She actually said it sounded gross, and it hurt my feelings and almost made me cry. I thought about adding just a little bit of flour and a couple eggs and making fried potato bologna pancakes, which still sounds like a good idea to me. What do you, the people, think? Let me know in the comments and hit that like button if you want to see me make fried potato bologna pancakes. Now once the mashed potatoes, the peppers, the onions, and the bologna are all combined, add half the bag of cheese. And then give it another good mix. Once everything is well combined, you can stop at this point and start eating it by the spoonful if you like, which I wish I had have at least tasted it, but instead I broke the #1 rule in cooking. I did not taste for seasoning as we cooked. I was sure it was going to have enough salt from the bologna, the instant mashed potatoes, and the cheese, but it definitely needed a little bit more salt and some pepper and maybe even a little bit of garlic. But I guess it's better to be under-seasoned, and you can season with a little bit of SPG at the table. Just keep the seasoning in mind if you decide to make this recipe. Now add everything into a well-greased 9x13 casserole dish. And then smooth it out into a nice even layer. And then add 1/4 of the remaining cheese. The remainder of the fried chopped bologna, and finally, the rest of the cheese. And then it goes into a preheated 350-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes, or until the cheese and bologna are nice and golden brown. And here you have it. After 30 minutes, our bologna and cheese potato casserole is ready. And it looked and smelled delicious. Now I let it rest for about 10 minutes before serving. And it was still plenty hot. Now for the purpose of the video, I went in and tried to cut a perfect slice. But this is definitely a scoopable casserole and not a sliceable casserole. So don't waste your time and try to cut it like I did. Just get a spoon and scoop out what you want. And there you have it, our cheesy, fried bologna mashed potato casserole. It sure doesn't look like a whole lot once it's plated up, but it's inexpensive, it'll feed a lot of people, it's hearty, and it's delicious. And there's one of my favorite parts of this casserole, the crispy bologna on top. And what you put into this is only limited to your imagination. You can use different meats, different vegetables, different cheeses, different spices, etc. If you make this bologna casserole, please let me know how you like it. And if you add your own twist to it, which I hope you do, please let me know what you changed in it, and maybe I'll try it too. Thank you all very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and share it with your family and friends, and I'll see you soon.